Secretary Granholm, I fought really hard to make sure the FY24 bill provided record funding for the Hanford site in Washington State, so I want to reiterate how pleased I am that the DOE, Washington State Department of Ecology, and EPA have reached this holistic agreement now for the management of Hanford's tank waste. I understand the FY25 budget request has incorporated now that holistic agreement. We know the future holds some pretty steep increases to maintain compliance. How do you plan to meet the obligations that they just agreed to in that holistic agreement, particularly for the high-level waste facility?
Yeah. Thank you for that. I mean, the good news is that the agreement incorporates with timelines the movement forward on the high-level waste treatment via direct feed. The agreement also makes sure we've got a strong path for out-of-state grout disposal, for example, the construction of additional $1 million capacity for tank waste storage as well. We're excited to see this agreement, and we're excited to help fund it this year, obviously, to make that request. Thank you so much for your leadership in that. We also recognize we're going to need additional funding in years ahead if we are really to live up to the agreement and the path that's set forward, so we look forward to working with you on that for next year's budget.
Well, it'll be work, and I appreciate your consistency. I have heard concerns from the Tri-Cities community about DOE's Clean Up to Clean Energy initiative, which will use underutilized Hanford land for clean energy projects. What is your department doing to incorporate feedback from the community into that initiative?
Yeah, in all of we have a number of Clean Up to Clean Energy sites because of course, the legacy waste management issues that responsibilities that we have. We have met with the Tri-Cities, and we are going to continue to meet with the Tri-Cities. We know, and we're in constant contact with them about what they would like to see happen with the land. We know that there's an opportunity to have a partnership between what they would like to see on economic development and on powering that economic development with clean energy. The land has such potential for, obviously, solar, and we're excited about that. We've been meeting with the tribes as well as the community on this. We think it's really important in all of these sites that the communities are hand in glove with us on it, and we will continue, obviously, to meet with the Tri-Cities area. Tomorrow, for example, we're meeting in Savannah River at that site with the community. We have informational meetings, we have direct meetings with the communities that are adjacent and the tribes that are adjacent to make sure we have their input. So we will continue working with the community at Hanford and the other sites.
That's really important to do as we make decisions on that, so thank you. Secretary Granholm, your budget request increases funding for the Office of Science to over $8.58 billion, coming on the heels of our FY24 bill that provided $8.24 billion. This funding is important for our competitiveness, providing support to our world-class national labs and boosting scientific research, including at the Pacific Northwest National Lab. That research really drives domestic innovation across a lot of different fields: biologic and environmental research, AI, machine learning, quantum computing, clean energy technology. And I really believe that that kind of funding is really critical for our future. How does your budget request support innovation across critical emerging technologies like clean energy and AI?
So yes, on the basic research and development side, on the earlier part of the spectrum, we think that quantum, AI, fusion, all of these advanced technologies have to be funded because we are facing global competition. We are number one. We're not going to lose that spot, and that's why the support from Congress to be able to fund that basic research is so important. The 17 national labs are our jewels, as you know. You've got one in your state. The tools that are in those labs are essential for us to continue to move forward. The exascale computers, for example, we continue to be number one. We have the top 2 exascale computers in the world, and we want to continue to have that. And those are obviously important for AI as well. So on the earlier side of the spectrum, super important. You move across the spectrum from demonstration to deployment. Those are also important for us to be in the lead. We are not in the lead on deployment, but we can be, and that's why continuing to move across the spectrum is important. As you are aware, we have these joint strategy teams inside of the department to make sure that both the research and development as well as the demonstration and deployment are all speaking to one another so that we are deploying with an eye to the future. And all of that is part of the strategy of how we reorganized the Department of Energy after Bill and Ira were passed.
Okay, thank you. We know that China is investing heavily in scientific infrastructure. It's really critical that we keep pace. Senator Kennedy?